You gotta move. Ridiculous. Is she gonna just sit there?
Run. Copy, sir. Can you switch on do with her like that?
Oh, I hate him so much. God, I hate this world. I hate it. Hate him.
We know a few things about Rose Valentino. One, she's a big fan of using the N-word. That was bleeped out there. And two, she's a cop in Cincinnati. In fact, not just a cop, but a cop who was actually featured in the TLC series Police Women of Cincinnati back in 2011. And she's had some other hits since then, some literal actually. Allegations of domestic violence that she'd been involved in, discriminatory policing. And that last part becomes very understandable when you see that her own body cam is apparently recording her routinely using the most foul racial slurs you can imagine. We're, again, in the same way that we bleeped it, we're not even gonna show it, but effing N-words, I effing hate them. That's what she has recorded on her own body cam as having said. It's a bit of body cam footage that they actually released, shockingly. This is Rose Valentino. She has since had her police powers revoked following a 3-month internal investigation. We don't know what punitive action other than that will be taken. But then we get into why. Why did you use this term? What is the excuse for it? And that's where it gets maybe even worse. She apparently told investigators, this is a hard job. And I was getting to a point where I was really being affected by it. I've been on for 14 years. She said she doesn't regularly use racial slurs and that she's open to seeking treatment to relieve stress caused by years on the streets. Officer Valentino, it says, has maintained that she does not have any racial biases that have affected her work. She believes this is a mental episode. So I don't normally say the things that I said there, but I'm open to getting a massage or taking a vacation or something if that would help relieve the stress of the job. Jayar, what do you think about that?
I guess it's time for that vacation or maybe a little bit of a time away from that stressful job that has you saying things like this. Again, it's I hate them. I hate this world. Think about it. This is a police officer. There was some person driving a Prius that was in the way, and then she got very mad and said, "Are you just gonna sit there?" Again, a bad driver sends you into that kind of tizzy. She's got a plethora of weapons around her waistband, including a gun. Somebody flicks her off and then she decides to go, "Oh my God, I hate all of it." And this person is allowed to pull you over, tell you what to do, and threaten you with her weapons. 100%. But she's unhinged enough that if someone is parked badly or isn't moving and someone else gives her the middle finger, she's ready to blow up the whole world. As long as she's inside her car screaming about it. This doesn't actually affect her police work. She has no anger issues, except that she does.
She'll use the slur. But she won't, for instance, profile based on it. She won't use violence or not based on it or anything else. Just shouting the N-word over and over. And that's where it ends, exactly there. Don't pay attention to anything about her history or the other issues, the discriminatory policing that she's already been alleged to have been involved in. Don't worry about any of that. She's got a plan. I want you to meet a cop, or at least a former cop, and that's where the story gets fun. This is veteran officer Aaron Paul Nichols. You can see a photo of him right here. He is the worst for a lot of different reasons. It has nothing to do with his willingness to wear a jaunty, bold purple shirt. No, he's a terrible guy who got exposed for some truly awful social media posts. And thankfully, he's not a cop anymore. There was an announcement of an investigation into his social media activity. And rather than meet with the investigators, he bounced. He was just gone. I'm resigning. And so that resignation came shortly after the department announced an investigation. And by the way, thank you to the Anonymous Comrades Collective. This is a group of anti-fascist researchers who helped to track down his different accounts on a number of different sites. So I want to jump ahead to some of the things that he actually said. Once these researchers were able to identify that it was him, his resignation kind of proves that they were right. So some of the things he said include, "When I seize power, hate crimes will be encouraged." So that sucks. for a cop. We know that Republicans love to mock the idea that crimes should or could be classified as hate crimes, but encouraging more of them, terrible position to have. I have metal stamps. I think I'll just stamp 1488 into every, I'm gonna say that's a blurred out N-word quarter I get. Easy, yeah, it was. So the 1488, if you're a sane person who doesn't dive deep into online white supremacy, is a Nazi thing. It references some groups and stuff like that. It's one of the ways they post about their white supremacy without necessarily exposing themselves to much consequences. He then goes on to say, blank ruin everything, again, N-word. Even if it's white doing the stealing, they're likely selling the meat to black run restaurants or trading it to N-words for dope. Real talk. By the way, he was a cop up until very recently in an area that was 20% black. So he probably had many run-ins with black people who needed him to be the authority figure. We give them respect. He's supposed to do his job. Instead, he's talking about branding black people, them being culpable even for crimes that white people commit. So thankfully, consequences. Justice in America, Brett, he has resigned, but only after horrible details were released, and there's more where that came from.
I don't think he knows what real talk means. Usually you say something that makes sense and is true and is accurate, and then you say real talk. But in this situation, he is just making stuff up, insane things that, yeah, alleviate the guilt of a white person so you could find a way to blame it on a black person. And he just says real talk. Like, you have to do real talk before you say real talk. You can't just declare the most ridiculous thing anyone's ever heard, real talk, by just saying the words after it.
I mean, it's a thing that people do. Thankfully, he's not getting away with it. So here's the thing. He obviously really hates black people. But are you gonna be surprised to find out he's not a fan of Jewish Americans either? He said this, I'll say it in English. I am a supporter of as many Holocausts as it takes to cleanse this world of Talmudic influence. As many Holocausts as it takes. And he goes on to say, if I found a genie and I had one wish, the Jews would be a distant memory in 72 hours. So if he had a genie, he would wish to remove Jewish people. He would give them a few days, I guess, Brett. This is absolutely insane.
I feel like he's in a weird negotiation. Like, how many Holocausts would it take? This is the weirdest version of how many licks does it take till you get to the center of a, and it's just like
of an anti-Semite.
As many Holocausts, I'm down. Because I'll clear my schedule for that. I won't like. I never understood why people hate Jews.
I don't get it either. Well, unfortunately, we're running out of time. I will say, he said he hates the government, but at least now he's not a part of it. He has resigned. So great work from those anti-fascist researchers. We know that there are tons more cops like this where he came from, and only diligent research is gonna give us even a chance of consequences.